In this lecture, we are going to study about thermal conductivity, the transport of thermal energy. As we have seen in our last lecture that different layers of gas, as they are shown here, different layers of gas, they may have different temperatures, and the molecules will carry kinetic energy, that is heat, from regions of higher temperature to the regions of lower temperature. So thus the transport of thermal energy, it gives rise to the phenomena of thermal conductivity. So all this thing is carried out to bring out the equilibrium state. Let us consider a fixed mass of gas which is at rest as shown in this figure here. Suppose there is uniform temperature gradient. In this case we are taking d theta by dz as the temperature gradient along this OZ direction. So along this OZ direction, the uniform temperature gradient, that is the temperature difference between two layers, is d theta by dz. In the steady state, the temperature of each horizontal layer, so these horizontal layers which are parallel to this OX will be constant. So let theta be the temperature of the layer AB and the temperature of the layer EF, which is at a distance of lambda, as we have seen in our last case we have taken two layers EF and CD just above and just below at a distance lambda from this layer AB. Then the temperature of this layer AB can be taken as to be equal to theta plus lambda d theta by dz, and the temperature of this layer CD can be taken as theta minus lambda d theta by dz. This means that the gas above the layer AB is at higher temperature and the gas which is below the layer AB is at lower temperature. And the molecules of the gas coming from the layer EF and passing downwards across this layer AB will have more kinetic energy and than the molecules in the layer CD, which are crossing upward direction through this layer AB. We know that the molecules of the gas, they are in constant motion, moving in all directions. So the molecules will move from AB to this EF to CD as well as from CD to EF. But the molecules which are moving from EF to CD through this layer AB will have more energy than the molecules which are moving from CD to EF through this layer AB. So therefore, this equilibrium will be reached. The gas will try to achieve equilibrium. The average energy of the molecules below AB is continuously increasing, and molecules will try to come in equilibrium. Now the number of molecules crossing unit area of layer AB upward or downward per second will be equal to mc by 6. So as we have seen in the last case, the number of molecules moving in each direction can be taken as equal to 1 by 6 of the total number of molecules. So therefore, we can say that the number of molecules crossing unit area of layer AB upward or downward will be equal to mc by 6, where we have this n as the number of gas molecules per unit volume, and this c is the average velocity of the molecules at a given temperature, and we'll take m as the mass of each gas molecule. Then the number of molecules crossing the layer AB in the upward direction or the downward direction will be equal to mc by 6. If suppose we take this Cv as the specific heat of the gas at constant volume, then we can say that the heat energy which is carried, the heat energy which is carried by the molecules in crossing the unit area of AB in the downward direction will be equal to, you know the formula for it, Cv is equal to mass into the heat energy will be equal to mass into the specific heat into the change in temperature. So therefore this will be equal to mass, that is m into Nc divided by 6 multiplied by the specific heat is taken as Cv here into the temperature, that is theta plus lambda d theta by dz. Similarly, the heat energy which is carried by the molecules in crossing per unit area of the layer AB in the upward direction. So that was first we wrote about the heat energy which is moving carried by the molecules moving in the downward direction. Now we will see the heat energy carried by the molecules from the layer CD which are moving in the upward direction will also be equal to, this is m into N into C divided by 6 into Cv into the temperature is theta minus lambda d theta by dz. So now we have written the expression for the heat energy carried by the molecules from the layer EF to the layer CD and heat energy carried by the molecules from the layer CD to the layer EF. Now let us see the net transfer of molecule, net transfer of energy. So the net transfer of heat energy of the layer AB in the downward direction per second, let us represent it by Q, will be equal to m into N into C divided by 6 into Cv multiplied by, we have this as theta plus lambda d theta by dz minus m into N into C divided by 6 into Cv multiplied by, this is theta minus lambda d theta by dz. So when you solve this, you will get m into N into C divided by 6, the constant terms are taken out. Cv into will get 2 lambda d theta by dz. So mnc by 6, mnc by 6 and Cv are constant, and you have to subtract this bracket and this bracket, and you will get theta and theta will get cancelled, these two terms will get added, and we have 2 lambda d theta by dz, and we can write this as equal to 1 by 3 m into N into C into this Cv lambda d theta by dz. Now as we have this m into N as equal to rho, which is the density of the gas, so we can write this total heat energy Q as equal to 1 by 3 rho C lambda into Cv into d theta by dz. The coefficient of thermal conductivity, which is represented by the letter capital K, this is the coefficient of thermal conductivity. This coefficient, it is defined as the quantity of heat which flows per unit area per second per unit temperature gradient. So we can write this Q as equal to K d theta by dz. So heat energy can be said to be directly proportional to this value, and hence K is the constant, that is the coefficient of thermal conductivity, and K is defined as the heat energy Q that flows per unit area per second per unit temperature gradient. And now these two equations can be equated, and we can, so after equating the two equations we get K d theta by dz as equal to 1 by 3 rho C lambda Cv d theta by dz. So So therefore we get K as equal to 1 by 3 rho C lambda into Cv. So this is the expression for K, that is thermal conductivity. So we got the expression for K as equal to 1 by 3 rho C lambda into Cv. Now let us see the effect of temperature and pressure on the value of K. We know that the thermal conductivity, as it is given in the above expression, K is equal to 1 by 3 rho C lambda into Cv will be equal to 1 by 3, instead of rho we'll write mn into C lambda into Cv. That can be written as equal to 1 by 3 mn into C, we'll write Cv here, and the formula for lambda is written here. Lambda is equal to 1 by root 2 pi sigma square into n. That is the mean free path is given by this formula. When you cancel n here, we get m into C into Cv divided by 3 root 2, and this is pi here and sigma square. So we get the expression for K in terms of these values, m into C into Cv divided by 3 root 2 pi into sigma square. We know that this Cv is directly proportional to the square root of temperature, and therefore K is directly proportional to the square root of temperature. So in this way we find that with the increase of temperature the thermal conductivity also increases. Now to find out the effect of pressure, we have seen that all the terms which are included here, they are independent of pressure, and hence the thermal conductivity K is independent of pressure. It doesn't change with pressure. So in this way we can find the effect of temperature and pressure on thermal conductivity. Next we'll find out the relationship between eta and K, that is thermal conductivity. We know that the coefficient of viscosity eta is given by the formula 1 by 3 rho into C into lambda, and the coefficient of thermal conductivity K is given by 1 by 3 rho C lambda into Cv. So therefore we can write this 1 by 3 rho C lambda can be replaced with eta, and hence we can write this as equal to eta into Cv. But this relationship is not found to be experimentally correct. So the correction was given by Chapman and Engskov. They said that this K is equal to epsilon into eta into Cv, where this epsilon is equal to 1 by 4 times 9 gamma minus 5, where this gamma is equal to Cp by Cv, that is the ratio of the specific heats, and therefore we can write this K as equal to 1 by 4 into 9 this gamma minus 5 into eta into Cv. So this is the expression or the relationship between this thermal conductivity and the coefficient of viscosity. In our next lecture, we will try to find out about transport of mass.